Many thanks for your company. Let's start this bulletin from Parliament. President Akufo-Addo has written to Parliament to officially inform it of Martin Amidu's nomination as Special Prosecutor. The President called on the House to expedite his approval. The Speaker has subsequently referred it to the Appointment Committee for vetting and approval. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us from Parliament. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Bennett.
Now, do we have any indication of when the vetting of Mr. Amidu is likely to happen?
Not yet. Now that the letter informing the House has been referred to the Appointment Committee, we are expecting that the Joseph Oso-led committee will hold its first meeting sometime soon and come to a decision on when exactly they hope to have that vetting process come off.
And interestingly, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shirley Ayokobotre, has also been addressing the House. Now, she has disclosed that the two Gitmo detainees brought into the country some time ago are now officially refugees in Ghana. What exactly does this mean? Hello, can you hear me, Joseph?
Minority spokesperson on Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okujetua Blakwa, requesting that as soon as possible, government brings an agreement, a renewed agreement on Ghana holding the two here to Parliament for the necessary ratification. And he indicated that the previous agreement expired on January 6th, hence the need for a new one.
Okay, Joseph, before you go on, let's just hear her, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shirley Ayokobotre, addressing the House.
The Ministry of Interior has informed my ministry of records at the Refugee Board, which revealed that the government at the time granted the two detainees refugee status. This followed a request by the National Security to the then chairman of the Ghana Refugee Board. They were issued a decision letter dated 21st July 2016, recognizing their status as refugees. The implication is that, in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Status of Refugees of 1951 and the 1967 Protocol on the Status of Refugees, as well as the provisions of the Refugee Law 1992, PNDC Law 305D of Ghana, the two have attained the status of refugees in our country. The most essential component of refugee status and of asylum is protection against return to a country where a person has reason to fear persecution. The protection has found expression in the principle of non-refoulement, which is widely accepted by states. The principle of non-refoulement has been defined in a number of international instruments.
Joseph, so that was the voice of Shirley Ayokobotre, Foreign Affairs Minister, addressing the House. A while ago, we've lost Joseph on the line. That we'll try and reach him to give us some more understanding and reactions to this disclosure by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shirley Ayokobotre. She says now the Gitmo two are now the responsibility of the Ghanaian government and that the two have family in Ghana as well. She, however, adds the government is constrained on how to handle the matter and they are still discussing what the way forward will be. Interesting developments there. We'll try and reach Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, our parliamentary correspondent. Well, he's back on the line. Hello, Joseph. Well, seem to be having some technical challenges there. We'll reach him shortly and bring you reactions from the Parliament. Now, he was alive in faraway Libya, but his family held a funeral for him in Ghana after they were informed he had died in a bomb explosion in that country. However, the 27-year-old Nima resident survived the attack and was hospitalized for months. The quest for greener pastures in that country has now left him with life-changing scars as old friends are unable to identify him. Maxwell Agbagba caught up with him at his residence in Nima and reports.
Sounds of Abubakar and his uncle praying inside a mosque on the compound where he lives. They bow down together in prayers on a mat. He has been scarred for life. His lips have turned reddish pink as a result of the injuries. His left eyebrow has vanished. His left ear also completely bent. His hairline has shifted backwards. I was unable to make him out in an old photograph with him in dreadlocks. His old friends are unable to recognize him now. The scars from the burns are visible on his arms, fingers, and face. He showed me his medical record from a Libyan hospital, indicating how he was admitted for months. The 27-year-old left to Libya for greener pastures. The plan, he said, was to get to Italy after he makes enough money. That plan never materialized.
Yes, the journey is too far. Well, Libya, the journey is too far. So the desert itself is not easy. To pass the desert top to reach for Libya is not easy. There is no water, no food. I'll go out, I see areas no good. They are shooting everywhere. They are using bomb for anywhere. They are shooting everywhere. They are spoiling everywhere. They are shooting everywhere. We did that place where they have thrown some bomb where you can attach some gas to for that place. Where the gas explode, we catch all of us. Where this thing happen. They are using ammunitions. Serious ammunitions, because they are using ammo case, big bombs they are using. I can't mention their names. They are using serious weapons. Libya is too dangerous. So our people Sweden did that place. If your people did for that place, you have to send him some money to come home, because that place is not good at all. So we are praying for anybody we did for that place, forget money, come for us.
People say the grass is always greener at the other side, such that we are often blinded to the green grass directly under our feet. Sometime last year, reports of African migrants being sold into slavery in Libya sparked massive outrage. For some Africans who traveled to Libya, they managed to flee that particular incident, but they could not flee from the conflict that has engulfed that country after the demise of Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi. I've now met Abubakar's sister Salamatu. She said her family sometime last year held a funeral for his brother after they received news of his demise in an explosion in Libya. Abubakar survived the deadly attack, contrary to the report that was sent to his family.
We were there when the guy called that my brother is dead. We were there too for about months, and they called that he has called that he's not dead, but he's in the hospital, he's bent.
Some African migrants used Libya as a transit point to Italy and other parts of Europe. For some people, they settled fully with the hope of bettering their economic conditions. That used to be the story of Libya until the revolution led to the collapse of Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi's government in 2011. Since then, armed conflicts between rebel groups have become the order of the day, with some Africans caught in the crossfire. Hundreds of African migrants continue to bear the brunt of the conflict in that country, as hundreds of bodies continuously are washed ashore the Mediterranean. Until concrete measures are put in place to arrest the migrant crisis, stories like that of Abubakar's will continue to be with us. Maxwell Agbagba, Joy News.
Really chilling story there. Now, the Member of Parliament for Kwabenya constituency, Sarah Joasafo, says government will in the coming days cut sort for the construction of a 504 occupation flat for police personnel in the Kwabenya area to help accommodate them. A modern police post will also be constructed to help combat rising levels of crime in the constituency, thought to have over 300,000 individuals. Joasafo disclosed this when she visited the Kwabenya District Police Station, where an inspector on duty was last Sunday shot and killed by armed men who freed some inmates. She assured residents of the area of improved security. She also visited the family of the late police officer.
My heart pours out to the family of the deceased policeman. And from here, I'm going to visit the deceased family, especially the widow, to console and console her and the family as well, because he was doing a service to this country. But security in this area, obviously, the inhabitants will be very, very scared and skeptical about whether or not they are safe. The Interior Minister yesterday and the IGP appeared before the Interior and Defense Committee in Parliament. A few questionings went on and how this issue would be solved. But as we know, with parliamentary work, when the committee is done, it will come out with a report on the floor of Parliament as to how the meeting went. I know that it is part of our oversight functions as members of Parliament, and it is a step in the right direction. But I want to calm all nerves in the constituency. The appropriate authorities, the Interior Minister, and the IGP have all assured us of safety in the constituency. And as the Member of Parliament, I want to reiterate that point, that we are all safe. Government is on top of security matters in this country, and we should shy away from the propaganda from the opposition that indeed we are not safe. We are. I want to take this opportunity to let the people of Kwabenya know that His Excellency the President, in the last budget, it was captured in there. And we have far advanced with the procurement procedures for the President to cut sword for a project in this constituency. It is a 504 police flats. It is going to provide accommodation for the police, 405 flats for the police service, and it is going to be here in Kwabenya. The atomic lands, atomic energy have provided land for that project, and it's a PPP project. It's a private-public partnership. And in that project, there is going to be a modern police station within that, a training center for the police, a park for them to train. They would have gymnastic centers in there as well. It is a very, very big project, and very soon His Excellency will cast sword for that project.
The MP also took the opportunity to visit the family of the late police officer to console the widow. So there in your pictures, really emotional visuals there coming from the residence of the police officer, Mr. Ashlevi, who was killed in the line of duty Sunday dawn. My colleague, Komla Adom, was on that beat for us. He joins us in the studio with some details. Obviously, I'm sure that the MP Joasafo spoke to the widow, did she make any promises, for example, to cater for the children and the family of this late police officer?
Well, Benis, she didn't say directly, but she promised that she was going to support in any way she can to see the smooth journey for their slain cop to eternity. So he told the family that once the 1 week celebration is organized on Sunday, she will be there to support them, and if there's any other assistance, form of assistance they require, they should make the appeal, and she's sure she will be able to help them out.
And tell us, you visited this police station. What really does it look like in terms of access to the place? Because a lot of people have been wondering why it should be so easy for anybody to walk into a police station and be able to do what these 6 men did on Sunday dawn.
Well, Benis, I can tell you that now the security arrangements at the police station have been revised. So I was told by the commander on duty, who spoke off record, that they've now been beefed up. So in the past, they had only 6 personnel manning that police post at night, and only one of them was armed. But now they have as many as 16 people manning that particular station. 4 of them or 6 of them on patrol, all of them armed, and then the rest also helping with the...
Is this temporal or is going to continue?
He tells us as long as command decides to keep them there, they will be there.
And did we hear from any family representative?
Well, when the MP visited the family home of the slain cop, the spokesperson, told the gathering that they are grateful for the kind of support and the outpour of love for them in the past 3 to 4 days since the incident happened. So they said, for example, a representative of His Excellency the President visited them and made some, promises and assurances to them, and so they are grateful for the outpour of love so far. But they hope that this will be a lesson to the police service in general, so that there will be some reforms in the police service.
Thank you very much, Komla Adum, there with details of that visit by the MP for Kwabenya, Madam Ajoa Safo, to the Kwabenya police station and the family of the slain police officer. Now, management of the Ketakrachi District Hospital is undertaking some projects to position the facility to improve its services and accommodate the increasing number of patients. Notable among the projects is the construction of a 2-story children's ward and a drug-producing unit to manufacture basic drugs for use by the hospital. This, according to the authorities, would help reduce expenditure on drugs.
The Kwachi West District Hospital, situated at Ketakrachi, has been a referral facility for smaller health centers in about 5 districts. Patients travel all the way from Mandai District in the northern region and Central East in the Brong-Ahafo region to access healthcare at the facility. Kwachi East and Kwachi Inchimuru districts, which are without a district hospital, also depends on the Kwachi West District Hospital for major healthcare needs. The hospital receives about 250 patients daily, and due to this, there has been immense pressure on the facility. The 16-bed capacity children's ward department, for instance, accommodates over 35 children daily, forcing parents to nurse their children on the corridors of the facility. All this will stop because the Kwachi West District Hospital is constructing a 60-bed 2-story children's department with support from Korean Foundation for Health, KOFI. Dr. Hilarious Abiu is the acting Kwachi West District Director of Health.
We have 3 incubators for our sick newborns, especially the preterm or premature babies. Because of space, we are currently using only 2 incubators. The third one is still in the box. And it's part of the reasons that we are making efforts to build a new children's ward, which will house a more spacious neonatal intensive care unit, where we can be able to use the most of the equipment, the incubators that we have, and possibly get additional ones from donors.
Due to the increasing number of patrons, the hospital spent more on drugs. Records show that an amount of over 1,685,000 Ghana cedis was spent on drugs in 2017. Realizing too much of the internally generated fund has been spent on drugs, management thought it wise to set up a drug-producing unit for the production of some basic drugs, since the hospital has the human resources in manufacturing drugs. The facility is expected to be operational in mid-2018.
The idea of the draft manufacturing plant happens to be one of those many initiatives that we have taken in order to boost revenue generation and make medicines readily available. So currently we have human resources, we have pharmacists, we have pharmacy technicians, and we're collaborating with Pharmanova and Kolebu Pharmacy. They are already into production of basic medicines. So we've had our staff undergone some internship with them and also working to see if they can even help us in the importation of the equipment for the production. So the plan is that in the short term, we are going to be doing what we call the extemporaneous preparations. These ones do not require machines. And as we do that, with the passage of time, and we are able to deal with all the procurement processes, then we can get in a fully automated equipment that will be able to do the production from start to end. And all that we need to do is to put labels on the bottle. So we don't have any human interference with the production process. It makes it safer and of greater standards.
Nevertheless, management of the Karachi West District Hospital is soliciting for funds to enable it purchase a $60,000 drug production machinery to facilitate production at the unit. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
School authorities at Ejesuman Senior High School have vehemently denied allegations that teachers are sex, quote-unquote, feasting on the students. They're calling on authorities to investigate the claims at a news conference held today. Joy News' Prince Apia was there for us. Hello, Prince. Hello, Prince.
Hello, Bernie. Can you hear me?
I can, Prince. So, obviously, like we just heard, the school authorities have denied these allegations. But do they point to any incident that may have led to that report in the papers that teachers are having sex with the students?
Yeah, Bernie, what the school authorities, led by the board chairman, who has been leading the press briefing all these while, saying is that the Nkoswahine Nana Kofi Poku, who leaked this information to the Chronicle newspaper and the media publishes, is pissed because he was denied on the board of the school. And as a result, he has decided to go all lengths to tarnish the image of the school. That is one of the many reasons why they are giving that the Nkoswahine is deliberately going this length to tarnish the image of the school. Again, they are also saying that even some of the teachers are also accusing the Nkoswahine himself of having sexual escapades with some of the students of the school. He bought mobile phones to most of the students, the girls, for instance, and they are claiming that he's inciting the students against the teachers. He's causing the students, helping the students to break school rules and regulations when they know that no students should use mobile phones and other gadgets during school hours. And he's bought phones and stuff for the students. He's inciting them to record videos of teachers to him and all that.
Okay, Prince, but just tell us, is there any recent incidents of a teacher having a sexual relationship with a student for which the Nkoswahine may want to ride on that, accuse them of quote-unquote feasting on students?
Yeah, for the Nkoswahine, what he says is that for almost a year now, he had this report from one of the students who came to him because he's an elder of the town, is young. He was able to come to him open, tell him that some of the teachers are forcing the students to have sex with them, especially if you have an issue and you think you cannot solve it. Instead of they going through the right channel to solve it, they force you have sex with you, then they close that chapter. If they find you using a phone in school and instead of them punishing you, then they force you, have sex with you several occasions and then they let go. So that information was given to him, and for him, he cannot sit down idle as the chief of the town to allow this to go on. So he decided to buy some phones for some of the students so that they can at least record any of the teachers.
And gather evidence.
All right. Gather evidence.
All right, Prince.
That has resulted in this, yeah.
Finally, do the school authorities mention what they are going to do moving forward with regards to this case?
Okay, so what the school authorities are saying is that for them, none of the teachers have admitted having any sexual relationship with any of the students. So they want the national security, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and other human rights groups to come in to make sure that these serious allegations are properly investigated. So that is what they are calling, Bernie.
Thank you very much, Prince Appiah, with those updates. Now, the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, Gov't, says, is developing new strategies of dealing with sexual violence. Speaking on the pulse on the Joy News channel, Director of Gov't, Chief Superintendent Owusuwa Tremi, explained the unit intends to move away from the traditional way of sensitizing the public and adopt new communication tools, including social media, to help create awareness.
This year, we're going to do a lot of public sensitization. We're going to educate a lot of people about the law, what constitutes domestic violence, what to do when you find yourself in certain situations, and also who to report to. And if you report to police, whether Gov't or any of the police station, and you have frustrations, who do you turn to? This year, it is still on our work plan to get to a lot of schools to educate the children what to do, what not to do. Let them know that, so that when they are raped, for instance, if for whatever reason, I'm just using miniskirts as an example, okay. If for whatever reason they wear miniskirts and they are raped, they'll be confident enough to come out and talk about it. So we have a lot of things on the drawing board. Today we met with some personalities as to how to strategize the way forward. So I cannot put it out now because it's still on the drawing board. So we are looking at other ways to catch the attention of the youth, to educate the youth through other means. So now we're going to go beyond just going to the school to do public education. We're going to find a way to use social media, print media and electronic media to get to the target group.
Away from sexual violence, residents of Old Tafo Zongo in Kumasi say the neglect of successive governments has left the community with little development. Now, they say new settlements in the recently created Asokore Mampo municipality have seen significant infrastructural growth at the expense of the Old Tafo. Our correspondent Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
Old Tafo Zongo, one of the most commercially vibrant suburbs of Kumasi. Construction and maintenance of drainage systems engage attention of community leaders to ensure property and, more importantly, lives are secured.
Whenever it rains, it serves as a drainage for all kinds of waste from people's homes. You know, it's very disturbing. If we don't take time, a day will come that it can cause a lot of landslide, as we've been witnessing elsewhere.
Any government that comes to power would come and look at the gutter. It has been our problem, and we keep asking who at all would come and construct this gutter for us. If you look around, this is the biggest gutter in Old Tafo community.
We have information that the Bokara has already been given to contractors to work on.
Yes, he's right. In May 2013, officials from the Ghana Hydrological Service Department, together with the Member of Parliament, came here to inspect the level of damage caused. The acting director at the Ghana Hydrological Service Department then, Hibot Osei, told me in an interview, government had allocated funds for the construction of the drainage after 3 months of survey and design works. Let's listen to exactly what he said in that interview.
A similar problem at the Zongo area. Okay, so we assessed it, and luckily government has been able to make available some funds which we can use this year to start the projects here. We decided to come here to see the situation on the ground, and that's why we are here. And if I'm looking at the situation here, I see it's a very big problem, which we need to tackle very soon. So I have instructed my officer in Kumasi and his team to start immediately survey works, which will help us to do the design.
It is unclear whether the survey and design works were done or not, and why the drainage system was not constructed is still a mystery. Some main streets of the Zango have received a facelift, but many more are yet to see the light of the day. The predominantly Muslim society also has a fair share of commercial activity on which many families survive.
I'm a Faiz Shaibu, but people know me, I call Achiarige, Old Tafu. Government are not bringing animals to us. We have mostly people are abroad, they are bringing the animals and then we buy them from them. So if government want to improve our work, we want him to subsidize the money. We want because the city is broke.
As we made our way through the next contact, we find structures sited indiscriminately. Alhaji Nu is a resident who has had the best of times. He shares his concerns.
You see these erections after the main buildings. There are lanes. Take for instance this very 123 road here, over there. You know that the road has virtually been closed. If there's any distant fire outbreak, you won't get access to that place. So that one too is another challenge to us. If only the government or the sub-metro or the KMA can do it, is that we have to put them off.
It is about 10 a.m. on Friday. Masaud Mohammed is at his workshop to begin work, something he started years back to support his education. Things, however, went bad. Many of his materials have been stolen, but he is determined to continue.
Somebody came, you work for him, then the person will say, what type of job are you doing? Why can't you stop this and go hereby? This is my favorite choice. I respected my job. So some people also came here and speak in Mansi for me. Why I do not follow them. I'm only following my job to do.
It is 9 p.m. the same Friday. Unlike Masaudu, some youth are engaged in dubious means to earn a living. Apparently, lack of job is a big challenge. Sheriff Isa throws more light on the situation.
Our brothers cannot proceed beyond SSS. Most of them, when they finish SSS, they dropped and they engage themselves in so many activities which is denigrating our community. For example, our brothers, most of them are now believing in doing everything on internet thing, raising money from that, what we call scam. It has come to be like a model for them to enjoy. People want to be seen driving expensive cars even though they are not working. So because our community more or less like entertaining them, all of our brothers are now joining the queue. When they graduate from SS, if they don't have parental controls, they also go and join the gangs, spending their time on behind computers, ending up riding these luxury cars, and that is it. Well, that's one problem we are facing. That means with this kind of attitude, in future we may not have well-educated people in our community to run our affairs.
Residents here are taking charge of their destiny in their hands in the face of flooding by clearing the drainage, struggling on poor roads, increasing unemployment rate, poor structural layout, among others. What is good for the goose, they say, is good for the gander. That is the feeling among residents as government rolls out the Zongo Development Fund meant to change the destiny of people living in the Zangos. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
And here in our studios are Kokum Limli and Bernice Abubedu, and this is Joy News Today. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go away. Thanks for staying on Joy News Today. Now, many of us may know that Bitcoin has become something a lot of people talk about these days. It's accelerating just like the value of the digital currency itself. With as little as $1, you can start trading. Sheila Tamaklo traded $1 in Bitcoin and is already disappointed in how the cryptocurrency is dropping.
I'm sure you've heard a lot of talk about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin currency is the biggest and the latest moneymaker in town. Essentially, Bitcoin is one of many cryptocurrencies that we have now. And there are over 1,000 cryptocurrencies, but well, Bitcoin is making waves because it's the most priced one, hovering above $10,000 per Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is part of a cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrencies don't like physical cash that you can touch. Cryptocurrencies are digital cash. And how do we get these cash? Well, it is actually extracted or derived through a process called mining. And this mining is done with these complex devices here, which is called a mining rig. And today we'll be finding out how exactly it comes about.
Right in his living room, Theophilus has set up a mini rig to mine a cryptocurrency known as Ethereum. The rig is made of 3 graphic processing units, a modem, a processing board, and a 50 terabyte hard drive for powering, which he acquired for a small fortune.
These are the graphics cards, and this is a power supply. This is a hard disk. The down part is basically a desktop computer with much greater power in terms of graphics cards.
Okay, so I mean, for this thing, all that we see here, what was the total value for acquiring all these things here?
Around $1,400, a little below approximately $1,400.
Cryptocurrencies are mined, not as minerals though, but in layman's terms, this mining involves the use of specialized computers and a special software to solve mathematical problems that are issued a certain number of bitcoins in exchange.
So the mining process can also be likened to gold mining.
Okay.
If we are mining gold in this pot, if I'm doing it alone, I'm going to get more gold. But as more people join me in the spot over here, it's going to take longer time for me we will have to share what we get over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I do now is pool mining. I join other miners, and then we put our powers together, and then when we mine,